Raising rates is such a hot topic in the freelance world. In fact, just rates in general are such a hot topic. Everyone wants to know what everyone else is charging and vice versa, and everyone wants to know if they're charging as much as they should or they could be. But rates are different for everyone, and it really depends on where you live, what your lifestyle is like, what kind of work you do, your experience, your expertise, etc. So what might make one freelancer very happy might have another freelancer screwing up their nose and running in the opposite direction. But the basics are this. Rates are different, and it's impossible for any one person to determine a blanket rate for every freelance service in the world. Instead, it's up to you to decide if you're happy with your rates and if they work for you. And if not, it's up to you to raise them. If you're not sure whether you should be raising your rates, then let me help you out here with these little pointers. And I'm going to say this now. The chances are the answer is yes, you should be raising your rates. So, first of all, if everyone is saying yes and not batting an eye at your current rates, you should be raising your rates. Now, of course, you want clients to see the value in your work. But if you've been offering the same prices for a long time and no prospects have said anything about it, you're either A, in high demand and they want to work with you whatever it costs, and this is nice, it's a nice feeling, but it's often the least likely scenario. Or B, you're charging too little and these clients think that they're getting an absolute bargain by working with you, so they keep quiet and try and get you signed up as quickly as possible. Secondly, if you're fully booked or almost fully booked, you need to be raising your prices. If you're fully booked, it kind of goes to show that everyone is saying yes without batting an eye. So it's pretty easy to get lots of work by charging cheap prices, but you end up barely scraping by and you don't have time to find better paying clients. So it's kind of a vicious cycle. And even if you raise your rates and lose a couple of lower paying clients, you might still match your previous income with that price increase for those clients that do agree to the price increase. And you find yourself with more time to market yourself to higher paying prospects. So it's kind of win-win, really. Thirdly, if you're not happy with some of your clients because they're low paying and you don't enjoy the work, you need to be raising your rates. So if you're anything like me, you've had a client that you just can't seem to break up with. They tend to pay very little, but the work is so easy, so you just churn it out again and again without really thinking about it. And it's difficult to let these clients go because the work is so easy and we tell ourselves that some money is better than no money. Now you can start by testing out a raise for these clients to a price that would make you happier to do the menial work and the boring tasks. And if they say no, which might happen, especially if they're a crappy low paying client, you've then freed up some space that you can fill with higher paying prospects and projects that you actually enjoy. Next, if you haven't raised your rates this year, then you need to be raising your rates right now. Are you still charging the same as you were this time last year? So are you still charging the same as when you first landed the client? Are you still charging the same as when you first started freelancing? Now, for a long time, I never upped my rates because I just didn't want to lose the work. I didn't want to risk it. But we're freelancers. We're running businesses here. And prices increase, it's a fact of life. If you want to stick at this long term, if you want to continue freelancing and make it successful, you have to consistently be raising your prices in line with inflation and industry standards. And finally, if you're just not happy with your current rates and you see other freelancers charging more than you for the same services, as long as you have similar experiences, then you should be raising your rates. So the thing with this point is that you have to do the research first. So check out other freelancers that offer the same kind of services as you and take a look at what they're charging. Go to their prices page and see what they're charging for what specific services. And you could, if you felt confident enough, you could even reach out to them and ask if they're getting a lot of work in at their higher rates, just to see how it's working for them and if you could make it work for yourself. Now, it's normal to feel uncomfortable sharing prices at the best of times. I mean, I still feel uncomfortable sharing prices, but if you feel unhappy because you know that your rates are much lower than everyone else's out there, but you just can't seem to find work at a higher rate, then it's time to raise those rates. It's uncomfortable in the short term, but it leads to much more long-term happiness and satisfaction. And remember here that like attracts like. So if you're charging more, you're going to get higher quality clients. If you're charging pennies and are afraid to charge more, you're going to attract cheapo clients that don't see the value in your work at all. And of course, it doesn't have to be a big jump or a quick jump here. I raised my rates incrementally. So at first I was charging $50 a post, and when I raised my rates to $100 per post, I thought the clients that I was bringing in at that higher rate were the holy grail and the highest quality I'd get. But then I raised my rates to $200 and $250 and then $300 a piece. And then all of a sudden, those $100 per piece clients didn't seem so peachy. So you can see how it changes as your prices increase and what you consider a good quality client to be. So let's just recap here if you're umming and ahhing about raising your freelance rates. So if everyone is saying yes to working with you and no one is questioning your rates, if you're fully booked out or very close to being booked out and have little time to market yourself, if you're not happy with some of your clients or you're not enjoying the work even though it's easy, if you haven't raised your rates yet this year, or if you're not happy with your current rates and see other freelancers charging more, it's really time to raise those rates. I hope this has helped, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.